Hello and welcome to the Tinker Cards video gallery. I'm back with another Christmas card using some of the Stamploration stamps. It's a new release for September and I'm working with the Vignette Christmas Block. And I've also taken inspiration for this card from the Sketch 19 for the for the Sketch 19 of the Stamplorations challenge block. Right, sometimes I just have to talk a little bit of gobbledygook to get my mind refocused again. Actually, it's gobbledygook. Right, and the card we're going to do is based on this one here. I'm just going to use slightly different colours. I'm not going to use the darker pink. I'm going to use brown instead, and this strip here is going to be brown too. So apart from that, we're going to stamp the snowflakes in pink, and we're going to stamp the bells in green, and then we're going to do the faux stitching in a brown as well. Let's get started. Alright, so I'm going to get my base card. I'm very sorry. I've just swallowed the wrong way here. So this is my base card. And you can see the Christmas block set here at the bottom of the screen. That's the one we are working with. And I'm just going to open it out. And we're going to only need to stamp down one side with our snowflakes. This snowflake stamp is absolutely perfect for backgrounds, for strips, or you could even sort of die cut little stars or something out of it. It's a really nice size. And so I'm just going to stamp like this. And that will be enough really on the side. As of going down the side, I don't have to go in any further. So I'm just doing like this, because you can sort of quite nicely come in with it as well, sort of, so that it looks like a continuous stamping. And if we do that, that's it. So that's my border done. Now that's away with the pink. And I'm just going to swap my stamp over. So next I'm going to stamp the sentiment block. So just need to get that off its backing. So that goes on here, and this goes away for the moment too. So I've got a narrower piece of white card here, and what I want to do is I'm going to stamp my topper, this bit here, and then I'm going to mask that off, and the masking will help me to do my cutting down. So I'm going to see where I'm going up to be, where I've got to cut up to, but I'll be showing you that in a minute. So right, where's my brown? So as you probably guessed, I've already pre-cut my mask that I need, and I also will need some masks for the bells to stamp them as well. So let's just ink that stamp up quite nicely, and all you have to do is align it approximately where you want it to go, and I think that looks about right, and then just stamp. There we go, that's that. And then next my mask is going to go on. Right, I've got it here. So I find it easier to turn it round like this, and I'm just going to try and get it centrally coming in across here, and align it with my cut edge here. And there you go, you actually can see the brown ink through the mask a bit. I don't know if you can see it on camera. I'm just going to bring it up a bit closer so you can see it's relatively central, my stamped image. And next I need to get my cutting mat out. And I mean, you can, if you want to draw yourself a line. I just don't tend to do it really. I use my grid pattern on the mat and align my card with it. It can be a little bit fiddly and you've got to have a steady hand, but I just find it a bit easier. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to align it here. So this is about as much as I want to cut off, just slightly more than 2 lines down. Got that, and I'm going to get my craft knife. Just start cutting at the corner here, and that's that. And I'm coming in towards my post-it. Now, if you don't want to cut completely in, that's absolutely fine, because you can always slightly adjust that later. And it's easier to adjust than having a little cut that shows, I think. I'm sorry, I'm rambling a little bit today, but I don't particularly like, if you can see sort of where a cut has been made, sort of i.e. coming in over here, because that sort of does look a bit untidy in the end, but that's me. So I've aligned this here again, and that's about right. So I'm cutting out here. So that's probably what I will have to adjust a little bit. So I'm just going to do this whilst it's okay. Right, and just cut this out. So let's see, so we got one, and all I have to do now is turn this round and just, that's it. There you go. Right, so my brown ink goes away, and I'm going to get my green out. Tidy my craft mat away, of course, and my ruler, or my cutting mat, and my ruler, and put these to one side. So I've got the green for the bells here, the one that I want to use. And all I'm going to do now is I'm going to stamp, and I'm going to align actually one of my edges of the bells with quite closely to the edge here, so it will look slightly different to the card that I've shown you at the start. So I've aligned this edge here relatively closely with my line that I cut. So that is one. Now I need to mask this off. So I'm just going slightly higher. So I don't want it to be exactly on the line. I want it to go slightly higher, because if you have like a little gap there, it just adds a little bit of extra depth, and it appears to the eye as if rather than a gap, it's a layer, a shadow. So I'm doing the same here, sort of aligning my bell with my edge, and then just stamp, and it goes off the edge, of course, off the top edge of what it would be on the card. And then next I'm going to stamp below. So I'm going to do it about like this. So that's below my topper. So So now again, I'm going to just use the mask to place it and hopefully get like a little white border at the bottom. But as I said, that acts more like a shadow, and it is better for sort of to create the illusion of a layer. There we go. Let's do that. That's that. So that means my green ink can go too. So I'm just going to take these masks off. There we go. And let's take this here off, and that's what you're ending up with. So next I'm going to get myself a ruler. As much as I like freehand drawing, I think on this occasion I prefer doing it with a ruler, because you want to get a sort of a bit parallel to here, because it looks as if you chopped it off a bit there. So I think it will look a little bit neater. So if I come in from the edge a little bit, that is that. And all you do is add some faux stitching. That is one. I'm just going to go around here. Is this. And that. And just a little bit here. That's that. So that's your topper done. And the next thing we need to do is just attach some thin strip of card, and this is very good for using sort of like your leftovers. Quite often I have such narrow strips of card and I don't have much use for them, so just adding something like a nice little trimmed border can actually be a good use for these. So I'm just going to stick a little bit of glue down the side here. This is where I find that glue is definitely better than tape, because it always gives you a little bit of time to move around so you can get it relatively even. Stick some glue on there, and that's when I'm taking my border. About like this. I think that's about all it needs to be. It doesn't need to be very wide. Actually, if you have it wider, it could look a bit too harsh. So just a narrow border coming down is all you need. I'm just going to get my scissors and snip this off. Just do this, that's that. Okay. And then we get our base card. And it sits on there like like this. Now you can either sort of just attach it as is, or you can use some 3D foam pads, which I think I might do because I like the added dimension that it gives me. So just quickly sticking some of these on. And I did have a whole sheet just earlier, which I got here. And they're not terribly thick, so if you're concerned about postage, that it's getting too thick and you'd have to put it down as a large layer, then just either go for a sort of the thinner option of these foam pads, or just stick it straight to your base card, really. Right, so that's that. So all I need to do now is take the backing off there and attach it to my card. Come off. That sometimes can be a little bit fiddly. Just taking this off, so normally I tend to try and use the tape version of it, but unfortunately I've run out of it, so I have to use these sticky ones. Sorry. So if you just and here we go, that's that. So all I did was then I added some glossy accents. Oh no, that's my glue. Well, it does dry clear, and you could try and use that as glossy accents potentially. Just did use some glossy accents. I just need to see how that is coming out, because sometimes it's coming out a bit too strongly. I'm hoping this is going to be okay now. So that's glossy accents on there now, just on the word joy. And so just put this on here. I'm just going to get something little to go there, and then the card is ready. So let's just see, shall we do something pink or something pinky greeny? Whichever way it goes, I think it will look quite nice. So what have you got here? That's where you can't see the wood for all the trees, I suppose. It's got a nice shimmery thing here. It's got like all sorts of colours, and I'm just going to pop that on the corner here. Just get a dot of glue. There we go. And then this goes on. And that's it. That's another quick Christmas card. I mean, Christmas cards can't be, oh, how shall I say? Well, ideally they're relatively quick to make if someone has quite a lot to do. a lot to make. So this is quite easy, but you got your layers, you got that little border, so it's actually got quite a lot of detail in without being overly elaborate to do. Okay, hope you enjoyed watching, and back soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.